Hey hackers, Blue Cosmo from CCS here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about OnlyRAT. OnlyRAT is the only rat you will ever need, and RAT is a remote access toolkit. It's a piece of malware that allows us to go from an attacker computer and remotely access a target computer. And with that connection, we can have remote access, remote uploads, remote downloads, code execution, all this other cool stuff. And yeah, so we started building OnlyRAT back in like January, and it has evolved tremendously. You guys will kind of see how potent that is in today's video. Yeah, cool. So I guess we can kind of just hop into it. Let me show you guys my screen. I'll go to my browser and we can check out the OnlyRAT repository. It's a super cool repository. First of all, check out the ASCII art. Shout out to OreoBite. He is the guy who made the ASCII art for the repo. I made sure to link his repository of really cool art that he does. I'm pretty sure if you go like program ASCII art, I want to say, it's probably going to be in there. My Wi-Fi server. There you go. OnlyRAT ASCII art right there. You can see his ASCII art for OnlyRAT. Be sure to check out his other cool stuff. It's pretty nice. So yeah. Much love to that guy. It was really nice of him to do that. But yeah, regardless, let's jump into, whoa. Okay, whoops, whoa, all right, cool. There you go. Too much moving around. All right, so today, again, OnlyRAT. Keep in mind the little disclaimer, I kind of have to do this, but don't use it on computers you don't have permission to test it on. You can do it on a computer you own. You can do it on a virtual machine, like in today's video. You can do it on any old computer you have. You can even do it on your mom's computer if she lets you. But don't do it on someone else's computer, some computer you don't have permission to do it on, because their computer will be vulnerable too. It's not even like you're doing something unethical, but literally OnlyRAT changes registries and opens some ports up, and you're making their computer vulnerable on the network because we had to make it vulnerable in order to keep that persistent connection with it. So any other attackers on the network may be able to start targeting that computer as well, and you don't want that to happen. So regardless, let's talk about OnlyRAT. Yes, OnlyRAT, the only remote access tool you will ever need. Super cool. One thing about the ASCII art real quick is there's actually some base 64 in the tail, and if you guys kind of want to figure out what that says, let me know what it says, because I know what it says, but I don't think you guys know what it says. Yeah, so there's now two ways to install OnlyRAT on the attacker side. There's the from GitHub and the from VPS. Sorry, on the target side. So if we want to install GitHub from GitHub, this is just like the default installation for OnlyRAT. Basically, it will install it straight from the OnlyRAT repository, right? So there's no user configurations or anything. So the connection can only be local, all right? Since we don't have a VPS router. Actually, I forgot to mention something about OnlyRAT, because OnlyRAT is now completely network oriented, right? It is a virtually fileless malware. The only files in the entire installation is the files that is used to install it. So actually, there's this article listed here in the resources section. And if we check it out, this is an article I wrote about how we do all these really cool SSH attacks with OnlyRAT, and you can basically automating network attacks and malware. It's super cool. So it teaches you a little bit about SSH, how OnlyRAT works, how the configuration files work. We'll get to that later. Yeah, all this other really cool stuff. And here is little networking layout of the networking of OnlyRAT. So you see how it talks about here, from GitHub connections, right, will only be local. So basically, when we install it from GitHub on our target computer, our attacker computer can reach to that computer as long as it's on the same network, so if you're on the same Wi-Fi or whatever. That's the from GitHub. So if we want to access our target computer from outside of the network, we need some sort of VPS or virtual private server to route the traffic from our target computer to our attacker computer. So that way we can access it anywhere in the world. Now I will be making a separate video on how to do this part, but for today's video, we'll do the default installation of the from GitHub installation. This is pretty cool. All right, so so yeah, that's the from VPS, so you can access it from anywhere. But that's for a future video once again. Some requirements So basically just security Linux, whether it's Debian based. Actually, well, it has to be Debian based, but the operating system doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be security Linux. I just suggest it because it has all the tools that we're going to need. Outside of that, we have our Linux terminal that you'll need. You can be Bash, ZSH, Fish, whatever, it'll all work. And then Python 3. Now Python is strictly used for the attacker to communicate with the target. There is no Python Python doesn't even touch the target computer because Python is not native to Windows, right? So we can't use it. Python just allows us to automate our network attacks from our attacker computer, so you guys can type in like a simple command and Python will just send it over the network for you. That's the entire point of this. And what's really cool about this new setup of the network-oriented malware is that because there's no files, it's very hard for antivirus to kind of notice all the fishy stuff going on because there's no file there, right? So because of all being like over the network, it's more of going to be like in the firewalls domain to kind of do like packet analysis and stuff. But right now, I'm at this really strict military area, and they have a strict firewall, and OnlyRAT still works. So, you know, it is what it is. But regardless, that's kind of just a good overview of where we're using Python within the malware. After that, we have our SSH tools. So just things we can use to communicate with SSH. Most of this will be used if you're using the VPS version of OnlyRAT, but if you aren't, you won't have to worry about these too much. Again, target is going to be Windows 10, so it can be Home, Pro, whatever. Windows 11 should work, but I haven't been able to test it yet. So one of you guys can probably test it for me, let me know how it works. But yeah, let's go ahead and start the actual installation of our system. Cool. So if we go to the attacker installation, all we have to do is follow the instructions. It's pretty straightforward. So first of all, install OnlyRAT by cloning this repository. We'll clone it, and if we go to our terminal, we can paste it, clone it, and boom. So if we list, we will see OnlyRAT right there. Cool, OnlyRAT right there. So now that we have that installed, we can go to the second part, and it says install the dependencies for OnlyRAT. So yes, all caps and bolded, the OnlyRAT directory is supposed to disappear. It is supposed to disappear. I could drag and drop it, but yeah, look at it. It's all around the screen. It is supposed to disappear. Please do not DM me asking why the OnlyRAT directory disappeared. It just becomes a hidden directory. So instead of OnlyRAT, it becomes .onlyrat in your home directory. So that way you can access it, right? Once that's done, just restart the terminal when it's complete. Please copy these directions exactly. If you run sudo bash install sh, it's going to try to install OnlyRAT into your sudo account rather than your user account. Cool. So we can type in our sudo password. Right, it will ask for sudo, so just run it as is. Oh my gosh, the day I can type my password in right. All right, dope. We'll say yes, and let that run. Cool. So if we go back to our browser, one thing it will bring up is the configuration file. So the configuration file is basically once a target computer is compromised through OnlyRAT, the OnlyRAT malware will send us back a file, a configuration file, back to our attacker computer. Now, this configuration file has all the configurations that we need to remember in order to access that computer, right? We need to know what IP address it is, so that way we know where to go to connect. We know, and we need to know like what the OnlyRAT account password is, because we make a hidden admin on the Windows system, all this other stuff. So that's all included. Actually, I can show you guys. If we go to the article right here, you guys will see there's a example configuration file right here. So we got jerry.rat, so it's going to be the username of the computer .rat, and then the first line will be the local IP address. The second line is the OnlyRAT password. Then we have the temp directory, start directory if we want to do any persistent stuff. Then the VPS IP address and the VPS port. If you don't have a VPS, these will just say NA because you don't have one. And then it will use either a local or a remote connection. Local connection means it will reach out to your local IP address. Remote connection will mean it will try to route the traffic over SSH and go through that port. It's really cool. It's literally port forwarding over SSH. And again, this article tells you exactly how to do it. So definitely check it out. But yeah, that's about it for all we need to know for now. Let's go ahead and actually try to install the attacker side. So you can see if we open up this installers folder for the attacker, or for the target side, my apologies. Cool. So if I go in here, you guys can see the default from GitHub CMD installer. This is the default installer, and again, this will be for a local connection. All we need to do is make a Discord webhook and just replace the Discord webhook word in line 5 of from GitHub.cmd. So if we go to the from GitHub CMD, you guys will see right there, there's the Discord webhook that you just have to replace with your Discord webhook. If you don't know how to make one, you just go to your server settings on your Discord server, integrations, then you will just go to webhooks and then new webhook. Once you create a new webhook, you guys can just copy the URL. And that's it. So I can go to my virtual machine here, and if I open up, let me go in downloads. Let's go on. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff in here. Let me go on this one. Yeah, you guys can see again, you just replace your Discord webhook right there. Cool. And then it will self-delete and all that other stuff. Cool. So I have my from GitHub CMD right here. So I'm just going to run this. Yes. And then we can go ahead, if I go to the start directory, you guys will actually see a lot of files popping up and stuff in here, right? These are the only files that are ever created with OnlyRAT, and they are all deleted, right? OnlyRAT does not keep files on the system. It doesn't need to, because again, it's all over the network. Those files were simply there just to install OnlyRAT. Now, the reason why they go to the start directory is because in case if the installation fails, you still have a failsafe for OnlyRAT to still install the next time the computer boots up. So if something goes wrong, the computer can reboot and OnlyRAT can install, which is really nice. Yeah, so once that's done, you can go back to your Discord server and you'll see a new Discord message saying download me, right? RedRow. So we'll go ahead and download our redrow.rat. It will save to our downloads directory. Cool. Yeah, and then go to your terminal. Let's finish installing the rest of OnlyRAT and let it do its thing. One thing I will mention is with the installers, there are a lot of installers for OnlyRAT, right? There is the from GitHub one, which is the default installer for local connections. You also have the VPS one. So if you want to route traffic outside the network, you can do that one. Again, we'll have a separate video for this installation. But there's also ones for the Hack5 gear. So if you want to use the USB rubber ducky to install it from GitHub or to install it from a VPS, you have those options there, as well as the only bugs, which is for your Bash Bunny. So if you want to do it from your Bash Bunny for GitHub or VPS, you can do that as well. So I made sure to give you guys a big variety of ways to install it, just so you have a little bit more ease of access with playing around with the OnlyRAT tool. Yeah. So that should be it for that section. I think OnlyRAT's almost done. Oh, perfect, cool. So it says completed, it set up our alias, completed, and then it says restart your terminal, and then you can type OnlyRAT to launch OnlyRAT. Cool. So we'll open up a new terminal, close the old one. That's basically how you restart your terminal. And boom, we're all good, all fresh, all clean, whatever. Yeah, so if we type in OnlyRAT, you'll see, first of all, let me zoom out a little bit. There you go. OnlyRAT, look at that. Look how nice that is. I love that. Again, the OnlyRAT you'll ever need, created by yours truly. So here's some of the basic stuffs that you guys can do, right? You guys can do like OnlyRAT TAC version, for example, right? You can see it's version 3.0. You can do OnlyRAT TAC help, and you can see the help menu, basic stuff like that. But in order to run it, you guys just have to do your OnlyRAT with the configuration file that we got from the target computer. So if I list in my downloads, you guys will see I have my redrow.rat file right there. So what I'll do is I'll just move down, these downloads, redrow.rat into our current directory. Cool. So now if I list, you guys will see redrow.rat right there, and we're good to go. We can just do OnlyRAT with our redrow.rat, and boom. So if we want any help, you can just do help or the help menu, and it will give you everything you need to know. So here's some of the basic commands, right? You got the OR console, which is just your remote console, the OR, OnlyRAT console. There's also a fix for the OR console. So basically, right, if you type in OR console, first of all, it will give us remote access to the computer. So we can do dir, and you can see we have remote access to the target computer now. If that doesn't work, it means that the IP address of your target computer is not in your known host. So in order to do that, you can just do the fix OR console command, and it will add the host to your known host. So we can just do fix OR console, and then it's going to say, are you sure you want to continue connecting? We'll say yes, and then it's going to ask for the password. The password is right there. Target password is Joran. Nice. So I'll go ahead and copy that password, paste it in there, and boom, you have connections again. So now next time you want to connect, you can just type in OR console and it will work perfectly fine. So if you don't like batch commands like I do, you can type in PowerShell, and that way you guys can get that nice Linux syntax. Nice, yeah. Some other cool stuff, we can just do the who am I command, right? We can see that we are the OnlyRAT user or OnlyRAT admin of the computer. I think if we do net session, it will say there are no entries in this list, right? But if we go over to our normal OnlyRAT, like normal user, like the red row user, and we type in net session, it will say access is denied, right? Because we're not admin here, but our OnlyRAT account is a admin, as you can see, right? So super cool, super cool. I'll actually go ahead and CD out of here and into the red row user, and you can see again, you can see all their fun little files. We can actually CD. Let's go into OneDrive. Whoa, no, just OneDrive desktop, right? Wait, what's the OneDrive? Is it desktop? Where's your desktop directory? I have no idea. CD into one. Oh, there it is. Yeah, OneDrive desktop. Is it capital D? Bro, CD into... Bro, I don't know where the desktop is. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, there it is. What? Why is that working now? All right, I guess Windows is just broken as usual. All right, cool. So we can just do like an echo hello to subscribe.txt. And now if we go over to the virtual machine, you guys will see subscribe.txt on the desktop, and it says hello. So yeah, we have remote access to the computer and we can run stuff. So something we need to keep in mind is with OnlyRAT, because we are right, we are the OnlyRAT user. We are not the red row user. So if we were to run something like calc.exe, it's not going to pop up on their session. Like if we go over here, calc.exe didn't pop up. However, calc.exe ran. It executed, just not on their session, right? I could do like task kill image, just do explore .exe, force it, right? So yeah, because I killed explore, right? If you go on the virtual machine, right, it's it's pretty broken right now, right? Because we just killed explore, right? I'll go ahead and fix that by running explorer.exe. So even though it won't pop up on their session, all executables and code and stuff that we run is still going to get ran. Like I can go back on the virtual machine. Hopefully it's not too broken. I know that's a pretty big killer for, yeah. All right, we'll give it a second to do its thing. Here, I'll just reboot it real quick. Cool. Yeah, broken pipe. So yeah, we see we're disconnected, and cool. And the other commands you run, right, if I do the help menu on OnlyRAT, and the other commands you run will be sent to your terminal. So you can still do a list and some basic stuff just to remember like where your directory is and other stuff, which is nice about OnlyRAT. There's some other basic stuff you guys have here, right? You have the remote uploads and downloads. Actually, we'll go ahead and do that. Cool. So we'll boot back into that connection, and cool. So I'll just do like upload Cool. And we'll just upload our redrow.rat file. I already know it's in this directory, so we'll just upload redrow.rat. And it uploaded to their temp directory. So if I go to the virtual machine and I open up the temp directory, we'll see the redrow.rat should be in here. There you go. Redrow.rat right there. Cool. So again, right, you have the ability to do remote uploads and again, remote downloads. Here we can try to download something off their computer. I think if I go in downloads, there should be like a a.exe. Yeah, a.exe. So if I go to my terminal and then let's do download, and I'll just do c:/users redrow downloads a.exe. Cool. So yeah, now if I list my downloads, we'll see a.exe is now in there. So yeah, we have the ability to remote upload, download, all this stuff. So about the payloads. So with the payloads, there used to be payloads on OnlyRAT, right? You can capture the webcam, screen, I think keylog as well. Because of the new networking setup, I have to rebuild the payloads again. So those will be coming in future streams and stuff. But for now, we have the actual RAT here, which is super, super clean. The networking layout is amazing, all this other stuff. So check it out. The repository will be linked in the description, as well as the playlist of me building this entire RAT, pretty much up until this point. And again, check out the article if you guys are curious, if you're trying to build your own malware, or understand how we're doing all these network attacks and stuff. Definitely check out the article. It will give you a really good glimpse on how that works. But yeah, that's about it for today's video. I really appreciate you guys for watching. I'm going to make sure this is good. Sorry. Cool. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. Leave a like, subscribe, all that. And I will catch you guys in the next one. So stay happy, stay positive, and as always, happy hacking. Hey hackers, Blue Cosmo from CCS here, and I wanted to introduce you guys to the Happy Hacker Site Plan. The Happy Hacker Site Plan is a plan where you guys can support us for only $1 a month. That's right, $1. With this comes exclusive benefits like courses, articles, videos, and access to our entire cybersecurity knowledge base. If this interests you and you guys want to get access to all this, check out the link in the description. It's only $1, so we definitely appreciate your guys' support. Anyway, enjoy the video and happy hacking.